Hello viewers of SSBC, welcome to this special edition of the Round Table Show. Of course, in today's episode we'll be looking at issues to do with diplomatic mission in maintaining good relations and cooperation with foreign government, putting into consideration, the most important thing, the national interest of South Sudan as a sovereign state. And here in this forum we'll be talking to Ambassador James Morgan, who is South Sudan ambassador to Ethiopia. He will be explaining to us much about his mission abroad in making sure the face of South Sudan is reflected in a positive manner. Ambassador, welcome to Round Table Show.
Thank you very much, Gory Anthony, with your crew, the technicians here with us. I'm so grateful to be home.
Yes.
To Juba. I've just come together with the Ethiopian athlete. So I'm so grateful to be here.
Ambassador James Morgan, are you really comfortable serving, representing South Sudan in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, basically as an ambassador there? Are you comfortable with that?
Yes, Gory Anthony, I'm very happy to represent my country in Ethiopia, and especially at this difficult moment where our country is going most of its difficult time in our history. So it is my pleasure to represent my country, not only in Ethiopia, but I'm also covering Djibouti. I'm also a permanent representative of the African Union.
Yes.
I also represent South Sudan in IGAD.
Okay.
And then I also represent South Sudan in the Economic Commission for Africa, which is based in Addis Ababa. So I'm so grateful to do that at this moment.
Let's talk about relations between South Sudan and Ethiopia, Ambassador. Previously, people talk, a large report circulating on social media that the relations is not that, strong, it's not that good. What do you say about this? How is the relations now?
The relations between South Sudan and Ethiopia, when I arrived there, the most important thing is that always as a diplomat, I started to look into the history of South Sudan and Ethiopia.
Yes.
And then when I look into the history, I realized that it was Ethiopia that brought us to where we are today.
Yes.
Behind us here is the stadium where Emperor Haile Selassie stood when we were kids here in Juba.
Yes.
We were brought from primary school to line up from Juba airport up to the stadium here.
Yes.
And that was our first time to see such a kind of a character, a man who was dressed. We didn't even believe our eyes.
Yes.
We were kids that time. So when I arrived at Addis Ababa, this is where I started from.
Okay.
And I explained in the media like this to the Ethiopian people that South Sudan remains a legacy of Ethiopia.
Yes.
And whatsoever the situation, whatsoever the misunderstanding maybe that was caused, if there was any, that should be put behind.
Okay.
Because it was that Addis Ababa Agreement of 1972 that brought South Sudan to the map of the political map of the world.
Yes.
And then from there, when the Addis Ababa Agreement was abrogated by Khartoum government in 1983, that time our officers who were in the Sudanese army, led by Colonel Dr. John Gereng and our current president, His Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardit, when they took up arms in 1983, there was nowhere to look at, but also to look into Ethiopia.
Yes.
And that time, Mengistu was there to help us. And I told the Ethiopian people that Mengistu did not help us as Mengistu, but he helped us as an Ethiopian.
Yes.
And this is a legacy, this country remains the legacy of Ethiopia. And then from there, when they removed Mengistu, it was not something that we wondered what happened after Mengistu was removed.
Yes.
Late Prime Minister Meles Zenawi even did more than, the emperor, he did more than Mengistu.
Yes.
Where the Ethiopian people stood by us in our struggle until we achieved the CPA in 2005.
Yes.
And then Meles Zenawi was very much involved in seeing into that the CPA was implemented to the letter and spirit. So, Brother Anthony, these things made the Ethiopian people to think that this is a reality. This country belongs to them, and even shed blood in this country,
Yes.
and they stood with us. So this was my starting point with them.
Yes.
And in so many social media, in many interviews on the national TV and so on, when I related this story to them, there was a lot of concern, and people became, in fact, most Ethiopians became my friends. I am one of the most, in fact, TV show there in Ethiopia most of the time.
Yes.
So they like that because they think that this is the reality,
Yes.
and they should not leave South Sudan alone. Today, as we speak, we stand with the people of Ethiopia together in our situation we are in. Ethiopia has come out officially to support peace in this country, and they have made it very clear. Even recently, the Prime Minister, His Excellency Haile Desalegn,
Yes.
made a speech in the parliament in which he said that Ethiopia will stand with the people of South Sudan, and there will be no any rebellion, any rebel movement that will stabilize South Sudan from Ethiopia.
Yes. Currently, what do you describe? You describe relationship between Ethiopia and government of South Sudan. How is it? How is the
The
relationship?
relationship is now on its highest level, very cordial.
Okay.
We have recently signed so many agreements. In these agreements, the most important are the roads, which will be linking these two countries together.
Okay, Ambassador James Morgan, let's talk about now issues to do with this national dialogue, which was declared by His Excellency the President. You said Djibouti support that initiative.
Correct.
And let's now get to African Union, where you are actually representing South Sudan as well.
Correct.
What is the stand of these people? What is the stand of AU? What is the stand of Ethiopian people or the government? What is their stand towards ensuring that the national dialogue is successful?
There were two things that we discussed. First of all, with the African Union, the new chairperson, Mr. Faki
Yes.
Mohammed, who is from Chad. He is familiar with the story of South Sudan.
Yes.
He's a friend of South Sudan,
Yes.
and he is familiar with most of our leaders today.
Okay.
So Faki himself, Mr. Faki himself, he was also supportive to the national dialogue.
Okay.
Recently, during the IGAD summit in Nairobi, where I was present, Mr. Faki was able to meet our president
Okay.
in that meeting in Nairobi on the sidelines of the
Yes.
IGAD. So he was able to meet our president, and he was able to convey to our president the support of African Union
Okay.
to this national dialogue. And he reiterated the support that they will give to South Sudan. The question that they were asking was, the national dialogue should be given to the credible people.
Okay.
That was one. Two, they say that it must be inclusive.
Okay.
Third, he said that there must be a cessation of hostilities.
Okay.
Our president also promised them that he was going to call for the ceasefire, unilateral ceasefire.
Yes.
And then that will be followed by the general amnesty.
Okay.
And that will give people chance, everybody to come in.
Okay.
What we are also against, or what we don't agree with, even when I made the statement in African Union Peace and Security Council,
Yes.
I told them that we cannot dialogue with people who are carrying guns.
Yes.
So we are asking those who are carrying guns to lay down their guns,
Yes, yes.
so that they can come to the table.
Yes.
We cannot negotiate while we have guns.
Yes.
So this is statement, I made it very clearly in the Peace and Security Council,
Okay.
in the presence of the GMEC chairman, who
Okay.
came to Addis Ababa
Yes.
to present his report.
Yes.
And I made it that the national dialogue is inclusive,
Okay.
except somebody who doesn't denounce violence, then we cannot dialogue with somebody who is fighting.
Yes.
And I'm sure that the president is going to do this. He's
Yes.
going to announce this unilateral ceasefire.
Yes.
He's going to make this general amnesty, and he is going to make credible people
Yes.
who are accepted by both sides
Yes.
to be the steering force behind the national dialogue.
Okay.
And our president remains a patron because it was him who declared the national dialogue.
Yes.
So these all are accepted by the African Union and also IGAD.
So they basically they express their support towards
yes,
that.
Yes.
All right, Ambassador will be
Yes.
coming to you shortly.
Yes.
Viewers of SSBC will be going for a short break and come back from that break. Please stay tuned. We are coming back. Hello viewers of SSBC, welcome back. You're still watching the Roundtable Show and we are talking about, diplomatic mission. What do we need to ensure that our relations with Ethiopia is met into a positive and very strong? And here we are joined by Ambassador James Morgan, who is explaining to us about this. Ambassador, welcome back from that short break. Just to get to know something, you said you came because of this great South Sudan run. It was marvelous, it was nice. We do understand people came from all walks of life to attend this event. What did the embassy really do to facilitate, to ensure that this work is successful?
Well, the Great South Sudanese Run was an initiative that came from Mr. Achershem, who is our successful Ethiopian investor here in South Sudan.
Yes.
And when he came with that idea, he came to me, and we discussed this in length. And then I told him that, okay, that is fine. Let him also consult with our leadership back here at home, because most of the time he's busy here.
Yes.
So he was able to consult with the leadership, and the leadership gave him the green light. Then he came back to me that, thank you, Ambassador. This project is being given a green light. I want to support the people of South Sudan,
yes,
by bringing awareness of the famine that has struck the region.
Yes.
In fact, the famine is not about South Sudan alone, but it is the region.
Okay.
We are going to make a run. I'm going to invite the international athlete,
yes,
Haile Gabriel Selassie, who is here in Addis Ababa. And we are going to go to Juba.
Yes.
But before we go to Juba, we have to launch this thing here in Addis Ababa.
Yes.
So we went ahead, we invited the media houses, and we launched it in Hilton Hotel.
Yes.
And we were, in fact, received with a big number of the media houses, and there were a lot of questions. Some of the people, of course, believe South Sudan was not safe for such kind of a show.
Okay.
But I was there to tell them, in Juba today, you can sleep on the road and nobody will touch you.
Yes.
And this what you are hearing here in Addis Ababa, these are not true stories. Haile Gabriel Selassie will be in Juba with us, and you will watch this live on TV,
yes,
and the whole thing will go very smoothly. The most important thing, Brother Anthony, that I want to emphasize,
yes,
is the support given by our president. Anything that is supported by the leadership is always successful.
Yes.
So our president came out openly to support this sports.
Yes.
And the sport is always a unifying factor in any situation. It is like music.
Yes.
Nobody can refuse music,
yes,
because it entertains. So when the leadership here at home supported this project for the purpose of fundraising,
yes,
to help our people who are affected by hunger, and also to send another message,
yes,
to our friends and foes alike, because there are people out there who believe that Juba is not even a good place for such a thing.
yes, yes.
But what was seen, I think that Al Jazeera was there, and
yes,
other international media houses were there. What they saw is not what they had been hearing. So that was exactly the achievement on our side.
Yes.
That we have achieved. As an embassy, of course, I have to play a positive role.
Yes.
To encourage. And this is not the first and the last.
Okay.
We are going to encourage many things that will happen here.
Ambassador, now
yes,
this one gets me to
yes,
question of previously His Excellency the President visited Ethiopia,
yes,
Addis Ababa,
yes,
and I believe also before President could go to Addis Ababa, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Haile Mariam Desalegn, also came in Juba. They signed a number of MOUs,
yes,
of agreements.
yes.
President went there with a huge delegation. They also signed a number of MOUs.
Yes.
Please, could you tell our viewers, how are this thing being progressing? How is the progress of all these signing agreements?
That is a very important point that we need to let our viewers here at home to know.
Yes.
You know, when His Excellency the President came to Addis Ababa, he came with big number of ministers. and each minister was connected with his counterpart.
Yes.
We indeed made sure that every minister met his counterpart. Apart from roads, which was the main issue,
Okay.
there was also the Minister of Information, Maulana Makwi.
Yes.
He also met his counterpart to work together in developing the media in the two countries.
Yes.
In form of training and so on. And also the Minister of Education was there.
Okay.
They also met with his counterpart. The Minister of Interior was there.
Yes.
He also met with his counterpart. And then our defense.
Okay.
Though they were not there with us, but they were doing their own things alone.
Yes.
These are military issues
Yes,
that always
yes.
are not public, but they were also there. We also had this issue of the cooperation among our security.
Okay.
At the moment, we have problems of this abduction of children, cattle raiding,
Okay.
which has already affected the communities in Ethiopia by our raiders.
Okay.
We have the cattle raiders, children abductors from the state of Boma,
Okay.
who have now come to Ethiopia maybe 3 times since I went there.
Okay.
But this had made it very clear that this is a criminality that we as a country, we don't
Yes.
support it.
Yes.
And we will work together with Ethiopia to apprehend such people.
Yes.
If it happens, South Sudan will not stand aloof to wait Ethiopia to chase them.
Yes.
We will also on this side respond.
Yes.
So these things make us now coming very close and closer to each other. We are working on all areas. So in fact the agreements were taken to the Parliament of Ethiopia,
Okay.
which also received an overwhelming support
Okay.
from the Parliament.
Okay.
Now it is on our side here. I still don't know whether this agreement has been taken to our Transitional Legislative Assembly for ratification.
Okay.
And then right away, these things need to be implemented because we don't like things to be signed and left there.
Yes.
And that is what Ethiopians are also saying, that these papers should not be remaining like that. They have to
Okay.
be implemented.
Okay.
So far, I met few ministers
Yes.
during my visit, though I was not officially coming to meet them, but we touched some bases on these issues and I asked them, what have they done so far? Because
Yes.
Ethiopia on the side has put this thing into the parliament
Okay.
and it received overwhelming support.
Okay.
On our side, what have you done? I think they said they told me that not yet, but they're doing it shortly. I said,
Okay.
please do it.
Okay.
On the roads, it is a project that was handed to Ethiopia, and Ethiopia is handing it to its military. It will be
Yes.
built, the roads will be built by the Ethiopian military engineers
Okay.
who will build these 2 roads. So on other parts of other things that we sign, trade, what, each and every minister who was in Addis Ababa during that time
Yes.
has to make sure that these things are followed up and are done quickly.
Okay.
And this is where the embassy in Addis Ababa and our colleagues here also in the Ethiopian embassy, we were told to work together to make sure that these things are implemented.
Your Excellency Ambassador, now this one, you said something very good, like
Yes.
you don't, and the Ethiopian are saying they don't want just a paperwork.
Yes.
You sign and you leave the paper down. They need an implementation.
Correct.
And you say these people have received all this agreement overwhelmingly.
Yes.
That means they are ready to implement.
Correct.
So what message do you send to our people, to the transitional government of national unity, since you are seeing on your side that,
Yes.
that these people are ready?
I want to take this opportunity with the SSBC to tell our people in the National Legislative Assembly
Yes.
and also to tell our people in the Council of Ministers to make sure that the Council of Ministers has to speed up.
Yes.
They have to speed up
Yes.
sending these agreements that were signed in Ethiopia, in Addis
Yes.
Ababa. These agreements need to be ratified by the Transitional National Legislative Assembly
Yes. Yes.
as soon as possible. Why I said as soon as possible is because when we sign things and we leave them undone, it gives a very bad image.
Yes.
So tomorrow we will not be able to sign another agreement
Yes.
because they will say we have signed so many agreements. These agreements Brother Gore, this agreement was signed even in 2012.
Yes.
But we were overtaken by the crisis, and this I was able to explain to the Ethiopian people.
Yes.
That the reason of delay was the results of the crisis that came up in 2012. I mean 13. But now we are in peace. This peace has the obligation. This government, the government of transitional, national transitional unity of government, has an obligation to implement these agreements, because this is what they have done, and let them bring these agreements to fruitful to the people of South Sudan. And I think they will do that. From here, they will do that.
Ambassador, could you tell us what are some of these hardest challenges that faces your embassy or face you in your diplomatic mission, and what have you done to ensure that you cope up with some of these challenges?
Well, we have financial crisis here back home, and even that we have the challenges, financial challenges in the missions. As nationals, we feel that we always discuss these issues with our ministry.
Yes.
And our ministry should do its best to support the missions abroad, because the missions abroad are reflecting the image of the country.
Yes.
And even if we have problems, there will be a provision to be made.
Yes.
But so far, we are still waiting for the Minister of Foreign Affairs to salvage the situation abroad, because many of our colleagues we are facing problems.
Yes.
But we know that this is a problem came as the result of the crisis. But also a consideration should be given to this.
Yes.
Because it cannot go on like that. It has to be, at least something has to be done.
Yes.
Because we are renting the properties of the owners. And the owners will not care whether we have a problem here back home. What they need is they want to be given their dues. This is their rights. So we appeal always to our ministry and those in authority in concern with the missions to at least give a priority to the missions abroad.
Yes.
That is always our demand.
Okay.
We understand the situation, but a special consideration should be done.
Okay. Ambassador, we are almost concluding. Finally, we need to know, what message do you send to people of South Sudan, and a message also to the AU, where you are, whenever you appear there, we feel like South Sudan is now on the move towards that. What message do you send to these people and to the international community, basically?
The message that we always give to African Union, in most cases, whether in Kigali, where I went, whether in Nairobi, or whether in Addis Ababa, is always that the African problems can only be solved within the context of Africa.
Yes.
We have an African Union, which is a very huge institution, which represents this continent.
Yes.
And it was the dream of our forefathers who came up with the OAU, as it was called. This OAU is the symbol that brought us together as a continent.
Yes.
A continent is like a house. So a house has problems.
Yes.
So whenever there is a problem in this continent, it must be the responsibility of the African Union to tackle this problem. Because we also have culture. In this continent, we have an African culture. When we go to court with a brother, that means we have spoiled the family.
Yes.
But our problems as Africans, we believe in solving the problems at home. When we talk about democracy, the most important thing democracy comes with is peace.
Yes.
Tranquility among the citizens and a harmonious state together.
Yes.
A politician from anywhere in South Sudan is free to go and contest anywhere.
Yes.
I now today I come from Yei State, Yei River State.
Yes.
If I want to be a politician, I will not only contest in Yei. I have to go up to Bentiu. I have to go up to Akobo. I have to go up to Warap to sell my vision. But in the situation where we are in, and this opposition are calling for democracy, Brother Gore, this will just sum up like a devil quoting a Bible. A devil can quote a Bible, but he's not committed to the Bible.
Yes.
So this is exactly what these people are doing. They talk about democracy, they are not committed to the parameters of the democracy. And this is where we feel that the African Union, the IGAD, must help us to stabilize this country.
Right.
Rebellion in South Sudan has become a way of getting positions. Today I'm a simple man here, Ambassador. If I go to the bush, tomorrow I become a big man. This is not right. This thing must be stopped.
Yes.
And the people of South Sudan must be given chance to elect their leaders.
Yes.
We cannot take this power from our people and bring the power that they have to the table, and then we started dividing it. This power either in Addis Ababa or in Nairobi. The power belongs to the people of South Sudan.
Right.
It is the people of South Sudan who have the power to mandate us, not the gun, not anybody who uses gun. That is why the dialogue is tied to denouncement of the violence.
Yes.
That is one message to the IGAD and the African Union.
Yes.
To our people here back home, why were we fighting for all these 50 years? We fought so that we can be free. Now we got it. We got our freedom. What is the use now of destroying ourselves? Right? The hatred that the rebellion is spreading, dividing the tribes, hatred, stopping the people on the highways, start telling that this is tribe stand here, this is tribe stand here. These things are not fair.
Right.
If you are fighting for the leadership, you fight to get that leadership from the people you are killing. These are the people who will give you leadership. But the gun cannot bring you to power.
Right.
The reason we fought was illegitimate. But this fighting that we are fighting now has no basis. It is a meaningless fighting. And you appeal also to those who are carrying guns to come home.
Right.
To our people here in Juba and elsewhere in South Sudan, I just want to tell them that the national dialogue that our president has declared
Right.
is a dialogue that let us start talking among ourselves and let us forgive each other and let us consider any South Sudanese as a brother or sister.
Okay, Ambassador, thank you so much. Okay, viewers of SSBC, that has finally brought us to the end of this exclusive interview of the Roundtable Show. Remember what the Ambassador has been stressing on. The most important thing is peace. Let's embrace each other as South Sudanese. And he also said that people of South Sudan needs to be given an opportunity. And he's doing all his best to ensure that our face, the face of South Sudan, is reflected in AU and also in other countries that he is representing, like Djibouti, Addis Ababa, or Ethiopia, to be reflected in a positive manner. We hope also you, all the ambassadors who are in foreign mission, please do your level best to ensure that South Sudan is reflected in a manner that our people will be proud of. Ambassador,
Yes.
it has been a pleasure having
Anthony,
you.
thank you
Thank
very
you so much for joining
having
us.
me.
Thank you.
I'll meet you again
Thank
when
you.
I come to Juba. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, the crew.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.